Venza. Is it an island in the Bahamas, an exotic dancer's stage name, or some sort of topical ointment? Well, in fact, it's actually Toyota's mid-size crossover that competes with rivals like the Nissan Murano and Ford Edge. Now, supposedly this vehicle combines things like comfort and versatility in one very design-focused package. But does it deliver on these things, or is it just another forgettable utility vehicle? The Venza occupies a sliver of the market between the compact RAV4 and Toyota's 3-row Highlander. Now, it seats 5 people, it's got some pretty generous cargo space and some other nice amenities, but the question I kept asking myself during my week with this vehicle is why? Why does it exist? Toyota's other 2 crossovers sell in far greater numbers, and they're essentially duplicating the functionality of the Venza. Here's what I mean. In May, U.S. dealers moved fewer than 3,400 of them. By comparison, the RAV4 outsold it by a 6-to-1 margin. The Highlander, that's due to be replaced very soon, topped it by more than 3-to-1. Base price for a front-wheel drive 4-cylinder version is about $29,000, including ancillary costs, and by that I mean shipping and handling fees automakers love to charge. Out the door, our mid-range XLE test model stickered for a little less than $36,000. Features like a V6 engine and all-wheel drive added to the bottom line. Now, speaking of what's under the hood, Venza buyers have 2 choices, kind of like voters in America. As I mentioned, there's an efficient 4-cylinder base engine that displaces a surprisingly large 2.7 liters. Now, what does that get you? Well, it's good for 181 horsepower with 182 pound-feet of torque. Another surprise, though, you can get either front or all-wheel drive with that base 4-cylinder. At 3.5 liters, the V6 is much larger and more muscular, putting out 268 ponies with 246 units of twist. Completing the powertrain equation is a 6-speed automatic transmission, something that's standard on every Venza. Internally, this engine is known as the 2GR-FE, but like the ingredients in a chicken nugget, you don't need to know that. However, you're probably wondering what the fuel economy is. This model stickers at 18 miles per gallon in the city and up to 25 on the expressway. That works out to an average of 21, something we beat like Nazi Germany. Driving exuberantly, the car delivered an impressive 24 miles per gallon. Aside from all-weather grip and more adventurous styling than you get with the typical minivan, one of the major draws of crossovers is found right back here. And of course, what I'm talking about is cargo space. Now, for buyers in need of a lot of room, the Venza will not disappoint. In the rear, it offers about 36 cubic feet of volume. With the second row folded flat, or as flat as it goes, that number almost doubles. By a narrow margin, the Venza offers more room than either the Murano or Edge. And the back bench is easier to fold than 7-2 offsuit in a game of Texas Hold'em. There are levers in the cargo bay that unlatch the backrests and tip them forward all in one smooth motion. Matching its generous cargo area is an equally spacious rear seat. I've got plenty of legroom back here, plus the backrest adjusts so it's easy to get comfortable. Now, with tinted windows and sort of a hunkered down stance, this whole back bench feels pretty cozy and safe. And you know, I think the Venza would be a pretty terrific road trip vehicle. Of course, the front seats are really nice too, and that contrast color piping is a nice touch. But if I had to choose a favorite part of the Venza, it would undoubtedly be the engine. It's so smooth and rev-happy, plus it gives the car quick acceleration. It's one of my favorite V6s on the market today, and I think it'd be pretty sweet in a Scion FRS. But it's not all rainbows and Candyland inside the Venza here. Grandma Nut actually had a mini stroke in the brittle house, and predictably the results are not very good. First thing I want to talk about the gauges here. Sure, they're big, very wide, easy to read too, but there's one problem. When the sun is coming from behind you, they actually wash out with glare and can be very difficult to read. That's not just annoying, that's a safety problem as well. Then there are the interior materials. The plastics are mostly squishy and soft, which is always nice, but they've got this strange, almost wood grain texture, and it's just plain weird. Plus, the other trim has this odd pattern on it as well, and add it all up, none of it is very rich looking. Shockingly for a Toyota, the Venza's fit and finish isn't that great either. There are several misaligned panels on the dashboard, and some of the gaps inside aren't very consistent. Plus, the rear dome light is practically falling down from the headliner. On the plus side, the center console is quite large. The armrest slides back and tips up, revealing a storage area. Plus, there's another separate part that opens up, revealing another storage bin. But the execution could be better. The thing is kind of clunky and the plastic creaks. At the beginning of this video, I asked whether the Venza was a standout vehicle or just another ho-hum utility. Now, as you've seen, it's comfortable, efficient, spacious, it's even pretty stylish, but it has a few flaws. Now, none of those are fatal, I know, but they do add up. And honestly, I think there are some more compelling crossovers on the market right now, a couple of which are even in Toyota's own showroom.
For more on this review and others like it, visit AutoGuide.com.
The functionality of its stablemates, but they sell so many of them. What the f was that? That doesn't even make any sense.